teams, were coming at you from a championship level. You know what I mean? Like if you go to financial planner, you want to go to someone that has managed money well, right? So if you're going to get your information on how to pick your players, you want to go from someone that's a winner.
He's a good backup to have.
Okay, I was looking at I don't see Derek Carr. Anyway, is he still in the league? So he's with the Saints, you said? He's still in the league.
Yeah, I think Justin Herbert is just a tiny bit overrated. Like, don't you? Because it seems like every year people's like, he's like a top 5.
It's interesting with him. I think before he was. Yes, I was one that always said Herbert was overrated. You take the top 6 and kind of shuffle them up, and you can make arguments.
Yeah, the top 6 is like it's
only
great.
one. Not to get too far ahead, but the only one that I think is truly overrated now in the top 6 is Jalen Hurts. I think there's a little too much recency bias on him. I think he's the new Justin Herbert.
This is former Chicago Bear Desmond Clark. And y'all hear me on many podcasts, but when y'all hear me on Pick'em Pros, y'all know it's all about family. This ain't just business.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You know who it is. I am Derek Thompson.
And I'm Diego Thompson.
And who are we?
We're the Pick'em Pros.
We are the Pick'em Pros coming back at you in the house with another episode of Who You Got. Man, episode 55, where we are ranking our top 20 fantasy quarterbacks. Yes, it's fantasy football season. We've already given you our wide receivers. You gave you our top 30. We gave you our top 30 running backs. And now it's time to give you our top 20 quarterbacks. And we're doing this all in one episode. So thanks for checking us out. Please subscribe and keep following us as we get ready for this NFL season. But how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. Starting school and everything. So yeah,
man. Yeah, it's what, Tuesday, August 15th at time of recording. It is your last free day. You start school tomorrow. You've been on campus really all summer with football practice. We got football practice this afternoon. But yeah, man, you ready to get back in school? Ready for the 8th grade?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for 8th grade.
All right. You ready for this football season, man? See, I'm rocking Ravens Crawl. It's basketball, but that's all right. Still rocking the school. So no, man, just pretend it says football. All right.
All right. Yeah, I'm ready.
You rocking? See what you wearing, man? You wearing
Lamar Jackson today? Talking about QB, so QBs. I had to rock a QB jersey.
Okay, QB jersey. Is that the only QB jersey you have?
Oh no, I have Patrick Mahomes. So I'm gonna save that for
you do
playoffs and stuff.
So. Wow, you're not wearing Patrick Mahomes?
I'm gonna save that for like playoffs and Super Bowl and all that. So
okay. So is Lamar Jackson your number one fantasy QB? Are you just gonna spoil it? Is that your number one?
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, we'll see.
Gotta watch the video.
Gotta watch the show. All right, cool, man. Well, let's get into this, my man. Thanks for checking us out. So got a couple of quick shout outs before we get into our rankings for today. One, shout out to Zaxby's of Clayton here in North Carolina. We're coming at you from North Carolina. So big shout out to Zaxby's. So want to show Zaxby's of Clayton love. Zaxby's of Clayton. Love all Zaxby's. So Zaxby's of Clayton is our sponsor, so I want to call that out. We film there from time to time. We'll be filming again as we go into the start of the football season. So stay tuned for that date when we'll have our next live film session at Zaxby's of Clayton. So shout out to them. Shout out to Rob and the whole crew. Shout out to My Vision Optics. So you think you've got some glasses, my man?
Yeah, I got some glasses right here.
Crazy. Shout out to My Vision Optics. We've got the URL below. Oh man, got them in the plastic. All right, the days you were wearing them on our vacation.
Can't get them dirty. It's nice.
Those are really, really sick. Those just dropped like the other week. So those are really sweet. I've got a pair of those as well. You've got a pair. You've been wearing those. I also have this traditional eyewear, so I'm getting ready to get a ton of eyewear. So I'm be wearing glasses all the time. So shout out to Portia Green at My Vision at Vision Focus Optics. My Vision Focused is the website, but Vision Focus Optics is the name of her company. So we always want to shout out local businesses and give them some love. So we want our community to definitely check them out and support them. We love entrepreneurship. We're entrepreneurs ourselves, so we always are going to plug local entrepreneurs. 2 more quick shout outs before we get into our quarterback rankings for fantasy football. Gary Clark. Man, we've got to give a shout out to Gary Clark. He joined us for our most recent episode 54. He is a professional basketball player. He's currently in Australia, played 4 years in the pros. He's hometown here of Clayton, North Carolina, went to Clayton High School. Great show. If you have not seen that yet, please check that out. That's our most recent show, and you will definitely be a fan of him and will be rooting for him. So he is in the beautiful area of Australia and is playing for the Hawks out there. So we'll be following him. He'll be on again soon. So he'll be with us throughout the season. So we're excited to have him. So big shout out to the homie Gary Clark. And then, man, last but not least, got to give a shout out to our guy who's coming to town in just a couple of days, Mr. Desmond Clark, former tight end of the Chicago Bears. Got to give him a shout out because he is coming to town. We have another project that we're doing with him, but he is going to be speaking to your team on Thursday for your first scrimmage. So he's going to talk to you guys, give you guys a little pep talk, and get you guys ready to go out there and go into battle. So big shout out to Des, just, great friend of the family and show, and is always there for us when we need him. So big shout out to Des. So excited. So by the time this comes out, that visit would have already happened. So we're excited about that. And I finally get to play some golf with him. So we haven't been able to tee it up yet. All right. So we want to send all that out. And one more announcement. We starting next show, we'll start featuring our sneaker of the week. So there's a ton of sneakerheads and, companies that we're aligned with. So there's a custom company, 4444. So it's 4 4s, 4444 Kicks has custom has a company that they're rolling out, and they are rolling out just custom shoes. So the first shoe that we're rolling out is actually a pair of Jordan 1 lows that's totally custom, has like a splatter paint job on them. We're going to be showing those for our next show, and we'll have different shoes that we'll feature. Some will be just simply shoes that are released. Some will be custom. Probably a lot of them will be custom. But we'll kind of have our sneaker of the week segment that we'll kick every show off with. So we're looking to do that next week. All right. So, but let's get into this list here. I've gone on long enough. Again, just want to tell you guys again, we're coming from a level of achievement, as we give you these rankings, not just giving you names, we're coming at you from a championship level. You know what I mean? Like if you go to financial planner, you want to go to someone that has managed money well, right? So if you're going to get your information on how to pick your players, you want to go from someone that's a winner. So as you can see, won my fantasy league, have another trophy over here. I finally got my trophy from the Trinity League here that I won. So coming at you from a winning standpoint. So just want to mention that. So, man, if you have any trophies that you want to pull out and showcase, this is trophy time. It's time to show rings and trophies if you want to do that.
I don't have any yet, but this is the year.
This is the year. I'm messing with you, man. But now you're 13. You're coming up, man. You're learning. You're coming up. You've had some good drafts. You came close. You came real close last year. So you finished second, and we're literally like a play away from possibly winning. So you have some success in your history, and it might be a championship in the near future. We'll see. Will this be the year?
Yeah, this is the year. You can book it. This is the year.
You book it. All right. We're gonna see. Well, let's get into this list, man. We're gonna have you kick us off, and then I will follow. Let's give the world our top 20 fantasy quarterbacks.
All right, so I'm going to start off. Number 20, you got Russell Wilson from the Denver Broncos. I think he's going to be better from last year because now he has a really good head coach in Sean Payton. But I mean, still not. I don't think he's ever going to be elite again. But at least I think he can get to the middle of the pack, which is about where I have him now. So number 20, who I have him, and number 19, I got Derek Carr from the Saints. In his first year on a new team with the Saints, he passes for a lot of yards, and he gets some touchdowns. So he's a good backup QB to have in fantasy because he can give you a good game, especially if Michael Thomas and Chris Olave are able to play a lot. So yeah, I think he's a good backup to have.
Okay, I was looking at I don't see Derek Carr anyway. Is he still in the league? So he's with the Saints, you said. He's still in the league.
Yes, he's with the Saints.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see him on my list. Okay, go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't see him on my list. Okay.
Okay. Well, no one cares about your list. This is about my list. Interrupting. Okay, number 18. I have the rookie, the number 1 overall pick phenom, Heisman Trophy winner, Bryce Young from the Carolina Panthers.
Ooh, wow.
I people are down on him because they think that Anthony Richardson is going to be better than him because he is bigger. But just because you're small does not mean you're not going to be good. He is going to have a breakout rookie year. He's going to have one of the best rookie seasons ever because he has a top head coach, Frank Reich, who's a quarterback whisperer, and they have a really good coaching staff around him. Lots of great coaches around there. They brought in Miles Sanders to help the run game, take some pressure off him, and maybe throw a couple passes to him. They have a veteran good receiving core with Adam Thielen and DJ Chark, and they drafted a couple guys in this year, and then their defense is top 10, so they're going to get the ball a lot. So the offense is going to be able to have chances to have the ball. And their offensive line is improving. So I think that this is a good spot to have Bryce Young.
Yeah, they had a great showing last week. The offensive line's doing really well.
Well, that was their backup offensive line. And the Jets are known for their pass rush.
Okay.
Those are backups.
All right.
Wasn't our starters.
Okay.
And then number 17, I have Deshaun Watson from the Cleveland Browns. Last time he played a full season, he was very good. He was one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. I wouldn't book him to get back to that, but I think that as a backup in fantasy, he can give you a really good game or two. So yeah, I believe he'll have a good season. He has Amari Cooper, so good season for Deshaun. Then number 16, I got Brock Purdy from the Niners. He gets your guy. He went 7-0 in the full games that he started. Yep. The only game he lost was the game where he got injured in the NFC Championship game. I think they win that game if he's in there, but we'll never know. So and he was really good. He passed for a touchdown in about every game. Took care of the ball. So and he has the weapons around him, so he can score some touchdowns and get a lot of yards. And he won't turn the ball over or have a good completion percentage. So he's a good backup quarterback, but really a top tier backup in fantasy in my mind. And then number 15, I have Tua from the Dolphins. He had 25 passing touchdowns last year in only 13 games. So he was on pace for over 30 touchdowns, which would have been one of the tops in the league. But then he got injured, and I would have him in the top 10 if he stayed healthy, but he's never had a healthy season in the NFL. So I can't book that. So I mean, if as a backup, he's really nice because he'll give you like a top 10 game, but I wouldn't trust him as my starter. So that's why I have to have him at 15.
He was my backup last year, and I ended up relying on him as my starter. for
Yeah, your
every
starter was Aaron Rodgers, right?
right. For every game that he was healthy, because I kept waiting for Rodgers to be Rodgers. I'm like, okay. And I kept waiting and waiting. And if I actually would have gone to Tua earlier, because I finished first in the New Trinity League, but the league that you and I play in, the No Trade League run by Smitty, shout out to Commissioner Smitty. I finished second. If I went to Tua earlier, I probably would have won.
Yeah, he was on fire. Aaron Rodgers had like a couple injuries and all that.
But I'm saying that to say, when Tua's playing, he's top quarterback. So he's definitely a good one to get as your backup.
Yeah. So, number 15. I have Justin Fields at number 14. This can be kind of controversial because I saw on one fantasy list, they had him at number 6, which I think is way too high. He's not a top 10 quarterback.
Nah.
But at number 14, this might be a stretch for me, but I think I'm comfortable with him here because I saw an improvement in his last 9 games. He was better throwing. He's a really good running quarterback, and that's the reason why I have him pretty high. I think he can be more of a dual threat pass for more than 2,000 yards that he did last year. Maybe get that to 3,000, have 1,000 rushing yards. That's really productive. So if you get 3,000 and 1,000 rushing yards, that's a really good, and have a lot of touch. And he's got weapons with DJ Moore, so I think he'll be better.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think your guy. You have the jersey, so feel free. You should have wore that jersey today. Your guy, DJ Moore, I think he's going to help a lot with Justin Fields. So
he's going to be good.
I don't think that's controversial.
I think he'll be. He'll be good. But
for fantasy, I don't know how many wins, but fantasy,
he's gonna help Justin Fields in fantasy. He's gonna have a good year. Number 13, I got Matthew Stafford from the Rams. I'm a bit worried about my Rams here because I see they did not look good in the preseason, even though that does not matter. But they do. They are not deep at all. They have Matthew Stafford, who's a really good quarterback. He won the Super Bowl, but he's 35, and he got injured last year. So I don't know, but he does have Cooper Kupp, and Cooper Kupp is great. So I think and Matthew Stafford, he throws for about 4,000 yards every year, gets a lot of touchdowns. So he's going to be really good. But I'm worried about his team, the Rams, though. And number 12, I got Kirk Cousins in the Vikings. My guy. He has Justin Jefferson. Which will really help him a lot. He also has TJ Hawkinson, one of the top tight ends that they traded for last year. And then they drafted another first round receiver to replace Adam Thielen. They got Jordan Addison first round. So he's got a lot of weapons. He had a great year. He had a Pro Bowl year last year. I think he can build on that again with the receivers that he has. And then number 11, I got Dak Prescott from the Cowboys. He was injured last year. Of course, typical Dak, threw for a ton of yards, but he also led the league in interceptions with 15 picks, and he only played 12 games. So I don't think it's going to throw as many interceptions because I've seen they have a more simple offense with McCarthy, but still I'm worried a little bit about him. Like if you're playing in a 10-team league, then I wouldn't feel completely comfortable if I had Dak as my starter because of just all the interceptions, and he might game manage. So I don't know. His touchdowns might go down. So I just don't know.
So if don't have him in your top 10, so to me that says that Dak is a backup fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, in a 10-team league, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, and then number 10, I got Geno Smith from the Seahawks. This is the sneaky one. Geno Smith.
Yeah, go ahead. I've got some thoughts, but yeah, go ahead.
He was, I believe, 6th in passing yards. He and had 30 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Only a little bit of interceptions. Had a high completion percentage, QBR, and he's got another first-round Ohio State receiver in Jackson Smith and Jigba that they drafted. I think to go along with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett.
Yeah. And that's why I'm not mad at that. I don't have him that high, but I understand. I can't argue with that because your receiver wise, good gracious, look at what he's throwing to, and he's have a decent line. So I'm definitely fine with that.
So he's coming off a good year. I think he's still proving himself. So Seattle could draft a QB next year and just try to go get an elite one. But so I think he's going to have another good year. And then number 9, I have Jared Goff from the Lions. He had a sneaky, really good year last year. He had only 8 interceptions all year. I don't think he threw an interception like the last half of the season, which is really good. And then he had, I'm pretty sure he had somewhere in between 25 and 30 touchdowns, about 4,000 yards. So yeah, he really bounced back, and he's got Amon-Ra St. Brown to throw the ball to. So, and that Lions offense is going to score a ton of points, and they're going to be really good. So I would be comfortable having Jared Goff as a starting QB. So yeah. And number 8, I have Aaron Rodgers from the Jets. He's got a change of scenery. He seems to really enjoy himself over there for now. And he has and the toe injury or whatever or the finger or whatever, that's all healed. So he has no knick-knack injuries. And he's throwing to Garrett Wilson, who's a top receiver. They also have Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall, who are good dump out the backfield running back, so they can give him a couple more passing yards. And that great defense with Sauce and all, they're going to make sure that Aaron Rodgers gets the ball a lot. So I'm confident in Aaron Rodgers this year. So yeah. And then number 7, I have Trevor Lawrence from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah. I think last year that he proved that he's an elite quarterback and that he can hang with the QBs in the AFC because they went from nothing, having back-to-back number 1 overall picks, worst record in the league, to then winning a playoff game and beating Justin Herbert, who had a big lead over him. So I think he's legit. And they challenged the Chiefs in that divisional game. So, and I think that he could get a lot better too, because he's going into his 3rd year. This is his extension time. So I think he's going to try and get that bag. So I think
he hadn't gotten extended yet.
Yeah, he has. He only played 2 years.
Oh man! Oh yeah, good gracious.
So yeah,
that's a great point.
Trevor Lawrence is going to ball out.
Yeah.
So yeah. Right. And he's a good athlete, and he can run. He can run. So yep, Trevor Lawrence, number 7. Okay. And then number 6, I got Justin Herbert because he can throw. He has a gun and I couldn't throw for about 5,000 yards every year, threw for 25 TDs. Last year wasn't his best year, but he's been one of the best quarterbacks consistently every single year, and got Keenan Allen and all those people to throw the ball to. So yeah,
most people would say that's really low for Justin Herbert to be.
Yeah, I think Justin Herbert is just a tiny bit overrated. Like, don't you? Because it seemed like every year people's like he's like a top 5.
It's interesting with him. I think before he was, yes, I was one that always said Herbert was overrated. So yes, now I think he's caught up a little bit to it, and the team is loaded. So I mean, weapon wise, it's gonna come down to health as always, but weapon wise, they're loaded. So I mean, gosh, on paper, man, you can argue he's number 1. I mean, just as a projection and load and all that, I wouldn't do that. He's not number 1 on mine. but it's interesting. The top 6, I think you can take this top 6 because I believe we have the same top 6.
Yeah.
You can take the top 6 and kind of shuffle them up, and you can make
Yeah,
arguments.
the top 6 is like it's
only
great.
one, not to get too far ahead, but the only one that I think is truly overrated now in the top 6 is Jalen Hurts. I think there's a little too much recency bias on him.
Okay.
Now, still top quarterback. I'm not trying to knock it all, but just if you compare to all the others and whatnot, I think we need to see it another year. I think there's a chance he may be the one that's a little more overrated. I think he's the new Justin Herbert. But
okay.
I'm jumping ahead. So yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get to Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Number 5, I got my guy jersey right here, Lamar Jackson. So I think he's gonna have his best passing year yet, in my opinion, because he's got true weapons this year. He's got OBJ coming in from free agency. They got Rashad Bateman, who was good for them last year. Then they drafted a first-round receiver, Zay Jones. I don't know if you know him, but he was a first-rounder. So yeah, he's got guys to throw the ball to. That that Ravens defense is going to be good. So it's just the offense is going to have chances to score, and of course he's the best running quarterback in the league. So he got that way to score too. So I just think he's a total dual threat, and he's going to lose his mind and be and possibly win MVP this year. So yeah, I wouldn't put that past him. And then number 4, I got Josh Allen from the Bills. But you could say that this is low, but just out of all the QBs, I just couldn't put him higher than 4, in my opinion. But had 4,000 yards last year, throwing to Diggs and Diggs and Gabe Davis, and he's just like Lamar, he's one of the best running quarterbacks. So really consistent. And so yeah, Josh Allen's a beast. So have him number 4. And then number 3, I have the guy at Jalen Hurts. And number 3, because he did go to the Super Bowl. He did. Good thing he's got that experience behind him. He was in the MVP running all year, but then he missed those 2 games with the injury that he had. A great running quarterback, throwing to AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
And Dallas Goedert at tight end. So he's got tons of receivers to throw to. And I think he could be better than last year. I think he's going to play all the games. He's going to stay healthy, and he has a chip on his shoulder with that Super Bowl, because he seems to be one of the hardest working quarterbacks in the league. So I think that he's going to use that and have another great year.
I wouldn't be shocked with anything with Jalen Hurts. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he's the best quarterback and wins MVP. I wouldn't be shocked if he took a step back. Like, nothing will surprise me with Jalen Hurts. It really, he's the biggest wild card to me. But yeah, I could see.
Yeah, and I think this is more of a projection. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be really good again. So yeah. That's just me. And then number 2, I have Joe Burrow. I had him last year in fantasy. I got him in the 3rd round, and he's coming back. He's practicing again from his calf strain, so he's officially back, and I think he's gonna play full strength. And he hasn't got that deal yet too, which is kind of weird. I don't know what's going on with that, but so he might have another contract year under him. And
yeah, possibly. I doubt it, but I don't know. But he's gonna get his money. It doesn't matter. He can tear his Achilles. It doesn't matter what injury he has. He
like bounces back from everything that happens.
Yeah, he will get the match. He'll basically be KD if he can tear his Achilles and get a max deal.
Yeah, it's like he can have any injury possible and then come back and then have a great year that was better than the year before. So because his rookie year he tore his ACL and MCL and came back and went to the Super Bowl. So yeah, I won't put anything past Joe Burrow. I think he's definitely a certified top 3 QB. Then
Mm-hmm.
number 1, I got Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry, his same old, but I just have to. I mean, I have no choice. I just have to. Like MVP from last year, Super Bowl MVP, won every single award, passed for 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, only 12 picks, just everything. Every single year he's gonna ball out. So this is a definitely Patrick Mahomes. Every year he's gonna be number 1. Every year.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What is?
I don't have him as number 1 on mine, but
that's disrespectful.
no, it's not disrespectful.
Yes, it is.
It's not disrespectful.
Patrick
For
Mahomes.
fantasy, now for
Patrick.
fantasy football, no, I don't have him number 1.
Yep, and fantasy football. It doesn't matter. Anything.
Nope. All right. Okay. Well, so yeah, good list overall. I understand your logic with a lot of what you've picked there. So we have the same guys in our top 6. They're just shuffled a little differently. And we mostly have the same top 20. I think there's there's 2 guys that you had that I don't have in my top 20.
Oh.
So I think that's the shift there. So
that's weird.
That's the shift. All right. So number 20 is the guy that I have on my list that you don't have on your list. I have Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. He's not throwing to Devontae Adams.
Sorry. Hey, he's throwing the man, dude. The weapons that he has on that team.
Really?
My goodness.
He doesn't even have Alan Lazard or Randall Cobb. Aaron Rodgers took him to the Jets.
He don't need those old slow guys, man. He's got Christian Watson, man. He's
really Christian Watson.
He's got one of the best up and coming receiver duos there is. That's why I have him at 20. 20 was difficult because I was like, man, do I go, Bryce? But I'm a little shaky on what I see there. Not to say that he won't have a good year, and I hope Bryce has a good year, but there's a lot of more unknowns with that. So I'm like, again, unknown and fantasy don't go together. So I'm like, I don't know about that. Kyler, you didn't have Kyler in your top 20, and I didn't have Kyler in mine because I'm like, he's not back yet. And we, kind of, saw him, and I don't know when he's going to be back.
And then Kyler,
no one on that team doesn't have anybody.
Kyler tore his ACL in week 14.
Yeah, right.
So he's probably going to miss about at least a month of the
season. Yeah. So maybe Kyler's a pickup later, but as far as drafting, I just don't see that. So Jordan Love, I see a lot of upside. I see that team has a good roster. They have a lot of weapons, and he could ball out. So that's why he made my top 20. I've got Jordan Love in the 20th spot. Number 19, I have Russell Wilson of the Denver Broncos. Again, Sean Payton, I think is going to help a lot. I mean, Russell Wilson will bounce back to a degree. How much, we don't know, but enough to make my top 20. So I have him at 19 as possibly a backup quarterback in your fantasy league, Russell Wilson. Number 18, I have your guy that you had at, I believe, 14. I have Justin Fields of the Chicago Bears. So I think DJ Moore is going to be a great asset, great receiver for him. I think they're going to have a really strong connection. We already know Justin Fields can run. So fantasy-wise, I believe he'll put up some good numbers. That's another potential backup quarterback for your team. I would not have him as my starter, but I would pick him up as the backup. Number 17 from the Raiders, I've got Jimmy G.
What? Jimmy G.
Yeah. Who is Jimmy G throwing to? That boy.
Will he stay healthy? Can he play a full year?
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen. He's never played a full year.
Yeah. In Vegas, in Vegas, he'll definitely be.
Have you seen that O-line?
Yeah, he'll be just fine.
He doesn't have Josh Jacobs is holding out. He doesn't have that to rely on.
They have plenty of alternative remedies and medical methods in Vegas. I think Jimmy G will be fine, and Jimmy G will play a full season. I think Vegas is going to do Jimmy G a lot of good. So we'll see.
Marcus Mariota, some good.
All right. All right. So we have number 16. I've got Kirk Cousins, the star of the quarterback show.
Oh, that's kind of low.
If you have not seen
Kirk
that
Cousins.
show, it is awesome. You'll definitely get a lot of respect for Kirk Cousins if you see that. Kirk Cousins, number 16. He's throwing to Justin Jefferson, JJ. You could say it's low, but as I look at the guys that I have ahead of him, I just can't pick them over him. Again, Kirk doesn't put up crazy numbers. You know what I mean? He'll throw
He put up really good numbers last year.
I just don't see. I mean, again, this 11 through 20 are backup quarterbacks. Basically, going to be backup quarterbacks at this point. So I have him as a middle of the pack backup, not a higher tier. Is just where I have him. That's kind of my reasoning behind that. Because next at 15, I have Geno Smith. I'm not taking him over Geno. With all the weapons that Geno has, my goodness. Then as I go up,
I know, but
guys, I just can't take Kurt over any of these other people.
I wouldn't take him over Geno, but I'd take him over like Stafford and Fields and.
Nah, well, I have Fields behind him. I have Fields at 18. I have Stafford at him.
I take him over Tua
because Stafford has a lot of upside. So again, Stafford, dude, Stafford might be the Stafford 2 years ago. So there's a whole lot of upside there. So I think Kurt is in a good spot at 16. I think that's reasonable. I think you just had him too high at 12. Then you were caught up in the Netflix show that you saw. So you're a little.
Did you see the numbers? Did you see the numbers?
Yeah.
It's like top 5 in passing yards, top 10 in like touchdowns, and
JJ is going to get doubled a whole lot more this year. I don't know what's going on.
And then he's got TJ Hawkinson and the first rounder to throw to. And those guys are legit too at their positions.
All right. Again, hey, 16. He's right where he should be. This list is perfect. Again, y'all, come on, man. Do I have to validate? You know what I'm saying? And then if we want to go,
Mom, I got stuff to do. We got come on.
So multiple time winner in this league, multiple times. Y'all, come on, I know what I'm talking about. Kirk Cousins, 14. That's the exact same spot. We're gonna have a recap show, and it's just gonna be perfect. Tell. All right, number 15. Okay, like I said, Geno Smith with the Seahawks, throwing to a completely stacked receiver crew there. We got Geno Smith at 15. Number 14, I have my guy from the 49ers, Brock Purdy. Got him there. He's clearly going to be the starter. Now we know that's not going to be Trey. I would possibly have had Brock or higher, but I'm still a little concerned about that injury. Because, I mean, he couldn't even throw the ball 5 yards. You know what I mean? So what type of hit would cause that to flare back up? I'm a little concerned about that. So I've got him at 14. I think skills-wise, I'd have him above some of these other guys if it weren't for that injury. But that injury has him at 14 on my list, Brock Purdy. All right. Number 13, I've got Deshaun Watson of the Cleveland Browns. Think that's a pretty good spot for him. Think where'd you have? Well, you had him at 17, so you had him a little lower. But I mean, talent-wise, he's got it. Mentally, I don't know where he's going to be. Definitely has the weapons. He's got Chubb there clearly. You know, he's got Amari Cooper, has some weapons. A lot of people have the Browns as a sneaky sleeper this year. I think they're going to do some damage. They always have good defense. So, or at least recently they had good defense. So we'll see where they are there. But I've got Deshaun Watson at 13 on my list. All right, number 12, I have Matthew Stafford of the LA Rams. So I believe we have him around the same spot. You have him at 13. I have Matthew Stafford at 12. Again, the other thing that worries me is Cooper. Or Cooper Kupp was already banged up. Had a little knick-knack injury early. So I'm like, all right, because if he doesn't have Cooper,
he's done.
so
I think they're already going to be bad, but they're going to be even worse.
You may be right. So I've got him at 12. I think, hey, if you can get him as a backup, have him as a backup. But I definitely would not have Matthew Stafford as a starter. Number 11, I've got Aaron Rodgers of the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is a backup. I would not trust Aaron Rodgers as a starter. Again,
you have him behind Dak?
Yes, I have him behind Dak. I do, man. Because again,
Got to change the scenery.
I had Rodgers last year, and
he was hurt last year.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't trust it, man. I don't. With the recent flame outs and last year and how stacked that team was. Again, I have him as a backup, but there were too many games where I was counting on him to be Aaron Rodgers, and he just wasn't, and I was losing because I wasn't playing Tua. So I
think he had to get used to not throwing to Devontae Adams. But now he's got Garrett Wilson, so it's got an elite receiver again.
Yeah, is he elite? We're gonna find out.
15.
We're gonna find out this year. We're gonna find out if he's elite. But yeah, I've got Aaron Rodgers at 11 again. I'd get him as a backup, but I would not have him as my starter on my fantasy football team. Number 10, I have Jared Goff of the Detroit Lions. Think he's fringe starter, you know, if you're a 10-team league. Because no one's going to draft 2 quarterbacks early. So if you don't get the quarterback that you really want, you can wait mid to, later in the draft and get your guy before people start taking their second quarterback. So Goff is a guy, if you want to just pile up all your other positions, Goff is a guy you can snag, 8th, 9th round and just have a stack squad and put Goff in. All right. Number 9, I've got Tua. I've got Tua from the Dolphins at number 9.
Pretty risky.
It's tricky. Again, I'd have him if I knew he'd be healthy, I have him early. If he plays, my gosh, the numbers are gonna be sick.
If he was healthy, they'd probably have him like 6 or 7.
As stacked as that team is, I think I would definitely have him. I think he's like number 1 option as a backup. So if you can get one of these other guys before, because most other people in your leagues are not going to have Tua as their starter. They might be a little leery. They may have him ranked more like 12, 13. So if you can snag Tua as a backup, man, and that's what I did last year. I had Rodgers, but I took Tua kind of early as my backup because I knew they were stacked. And I ended up leaning and needing Tua the weeks that he was healthy. So I've got Tua number 9 from the Dolphins as my quarterback in my rankings there. Number 8, I have Trevor Lawrence. Number 8 from the Jaguars. So again, you had him at 7. So basically have him at about the same spot there. I think he's going to have a big year. I would definitely trust him as my starter. They've added weapons and they're on the incline. So they're looking good. I would trust Trevor Lawrence, and he hadn't gotten paid, so that's huge. I would definitely trust him. Number 7, I've got Dak.
You have Dak over Trevor?
Yeah, I've got Dak because this is a huge year for Dak. This is basically contract year for Dak. And he has the weapons. He has everything there to be successful, and we know Dak can put up numbers. Like there's no question about this. So his upside is really high, and I feel his upside is higher than Trevor and some of those other guys. Dak can put up numbers like no other. Sometimes it's meaningless numbers, but fantasy it doesn't matter, and that's what we're playing, fantasy football. So because of that, that's why I have Dak at 7. The question is, what's the over under on Paw taking Dak? Is he gonna have Dak on his team this year? And how high does he reach to go get Dak?
Maybe. 4th round.
We will see how high he goes to get Dak this year. All right. Number 6, I have your guy, Jalen Hurts of the Philadelphia Eagles at number 6. So we have the same top 6, just in a different order. So again, Hurts, he's super talented, has great receivers, can run, has all the intangibles, hard worker, he's going to study, just everything. So he's everything you want in a quarterback. It's going to be interesting to see now with them not being a surprise team. Everybody's expecting, Eagles to play well. Everyone's going to give them their best shot to see him do it now. And some of these other guys have proven it a little more. Last year was the first year Hurts has done it. So by that being the first year, I can't have him over these other guys. Now, if he does it again this year, then I think he's, top 3 guy in fantasy. But I can't have him there quite yet after 1 year of doing it. So that's why I have Jalen Hurts at number 6. Number 5, this is gonna shock you, man. I hate to have him here, but again, I'm just a little leery on the injury. I've got Joe Burrow at number 5.
What?
At the Bengals. Yeah, everybody knows I'm Bengals.
Overcome every single injury,
man.
And then he's back. They got 4 weeks.
Dude, that was non-contact. He fell to the ground, grabbing his calf. We know that can lead to Achilles. Again, hey, I still have him at 5. And if I'm sitting there at a certain point in the draft, and if he's there, I still may take him as my starter, just because if it weren't for that injury, he'd be number 1 on my list. He'd be my number 1 quarterback. So that's no question. The injury has me cautiously. I've got him at 5 cautiously now because of that non-contact calf injury. I'm a little concerned about that. So again, doesn't mean I won't take him, but I've got him at 5 because of that one reason. Yep. So I had, if we did this show a couple weeks ago, he would have been number 1 on my list. All right. Number 4, I have Lamar Jackson from Baltimore Ravens. You've got him at 5. I think he's gonna have a big year. He could win MVP again. Really, yeah. Any of these guys in this top 6 can win MVP in my book. So I think he's gonna have a big year. He's got weapons. It's gonna be exciting to see what he does. And he's truly, they say this with a lot of folks, they're a winner, but I think Lamar Jackson truly is that. Like, if he's on the field, man, it's such an advantage if he's the quarterback. Yes. It's hard to overcome Lamar Jackson. So he's big, and he's going to put up even bigger fantasy numbers this year because of the weapons that he has. So I have him at number 4. Number 3, I have Justin Herbert of the Chargers. I've got Justin Herbert at number 3. I think he's going to have a monster year. He's got the weapons, has everything in place. Have the new offensive coordinator who came from the Cowboys. So it's going to be very interesting. But yeah, their team, and a lot of people are going to be high on them. It'll be interesting to see when a couple weeks from now, when we pick our predictions on who all is going to make the playoffs and all that. We'll be coming out with that. I'm very curious to see how we roll that out. But yeah, I think they're going to have a big year. They get to the playoffs, and Herbert is going to be big. So I have him number 3. He always puts up big numbers. Have him number 3. Number 2, I have your guy, Patrick Mahomes.
What? Disrespectful.
At number 2, how is that disrespectful at number 2?
Man, he should be number 1. Everyone's list.
Nah. Hey, amazing quarterback, MVP. Can't say enough great things about Patrick Mahomes, but at the same time, he does not have the weapons that he's had in the past. That won't prevent him from winning. That may not prevent him from, winning the Super Bowl again, right? But as far as for fantasy football and fantasy football numbers, I've got him at 2 because of that. Okay. He's not going to. I think the guy that I have at number 1 has a few more fantasy intangibles that will cause him to put up more numbers. So that's clearly the only reason. If I'm picking a team, of course, everybody's gonna have Patrick Mahomes. But no, for fantasy, I've got him at number 2. My number 1 is the guy that people are overlooking now, and it's becoming overrated, underrated. And I think Josh Allen.
Oh my gosh, I had him on number 1 last year. Did you see what happened to me?
He's my number 1 quarterback for this season. Josh Allen, man, y'all, he is truly the dual threat. I mean, the guy gets, and I've had him where he's had 300 yards passing, over 100-yard rushing. Oh man, the bonuses were ridiculous with Josh Allen. With the tension between Diggs, I think Allen's going to be out to prove that he is the guy. I think those interceptions are going to come down a little bit this year, and he's going to have a monster year. So I'm really, really high on Josh Allen. My projections that Josh Allen is going to be the guy and be the best quarterback fantasy-wise in the NFL. That's who I'm going with. It's the Josh Allen.
You can have Josh Allen. You can have him.
Oh man, hey, I will happily take Josh Allen, man. Please,
you can have him.
Yep. All right. So you had him last year?
No, I had Burrow last year. I had Josh Allen number 1 on my list last
okay.
year.
Well, you never had him, so you can't speak from that. I've had Josh Allen, and it was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So
that was what, like 2-3 years ago.
It was
I think it was like 3 years ago.
So I think it was just 2 years ago. Just 2 years ago, I had Josh Allen, and he was a total beast. See, because you always then copy who I had Rodgers like 3 years ago, right? So then next year you saw how great Rodgers was for me. So then you got Rodgers. Then I had Allen.
Won MVP.
Right? Allen was amazing for me, and then you had Allen rated number 1, right? So then I went to Burrow, and so you keep going to whoever I had the year before.
Yeah, I had Aaron Rodgers when he won MVP. It was amazing. And Adams.
All right, man. Well, hey, man, I'm excited. Drafts are coming up. We got our drafts date. So now I'm playing actually in 3 leagues this year. You're playing in 2. So we've got ESPN League. Well, I've got the ESPN League, the one, the trophy I just showed. We've got the main league, Smitty League, No Trade League, that one. And then we're both in the Yahoo League with Mike Boylan. So excited about that. So, yeah, a lot of great stuff. We've got our top 20 tight ends. You want to check that out? We're going to roll that out in the next few days, our top 20 tight ends. That'll be a show. And then we'll have shows where we predict AFC and NFC as far as who's going to win the divisions, who's going to be the wild cards. We'll roll all that out before week 1. And then right before week 1, we're coming at you every week with our episodes of Who You Got, where we're picking all the games. And we'll have Desmond Clark on with us for a lot of those. And the weeks he can't be on, he'll submit his picks, and we'll keep at it. So the 3 of us will be competing for this regular season with Des. So we're excited about that. And we're going to see him in a couple of days. Yeah. All right, man. Well, good show, man. Let's get you to practice and get you to school and get everything rolling. And we'll be back in a couple of days with tight ends. All right.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, man. All right. Well, hey, thanks for checking us out. Please like this show, subscribe, share, do all of that. Let's keep this thing rolling. We really appreciate the love and support. We will be able to offer memberships in just probably another 2 months. We're away from hitting the threshold where we can have memberships. So that's how you'll be able to get prizes and gifts. And we'll have a lot of things that we'll roll out once memberships are a possibility on our channel. So we're almost there. So the more you like, the more you watch and subscribe will allow us to get to that level quicker where we can offer memberships to our channel. All right. Well, until then, man, let's get on out. We'll see y'all next time. Let's sign off the way we do. Check out the instrumental from Tavares Jordan. Till then, pick 'em pros.